what's up? I'm Colleen and welcome to my channel. I've never met a sparkle that I didn't like, and I believe that I did, because being mean is not cool. Awesome people are not mean, so be kind all the time. So welcome to another edition of Friday Frights. For this episode, I will be talking about the legend of the Bunk Shaker. This is a new legend to me. I had never heard of this before, so when I saw it online, I was intrigued and wanted to talk about it for this episode. I, of course, will link where I get the information on the Bunk Shaker below in the description box in case you are interested in finding out more about the very mysterious Bunk Shaker. In case you are new to Friday Frights is where I sit and I talk about all things that go bump in the night in the paranormal and supernatural world, and I do my makeup at the same time because one thing that I love just as much as I love makeup is the paranormal and the supernatural, and I love that they can now collide in my little YouTube world. So yeah. So if you are interested in finding out more about the legends of the Bunk Shaker and how I got this beautiful look, please stay tuned because that's what we are getting into right now. This Nigerian urban legend has unknown origins, but it is thought to possibly have originated in the mid to late 20th century. The entity known as the Bunk Shaker remains entirely or nearly entirely out of the victim's sight, so no one really knows what it looks like. The only part of the Bunk Shaker that ever becomes visible are the entity's fingers, which are described as tipped with long, very sharp fingernails. The Bunk Shaker may be found almost exclusively at boarding schools, specifically dormitories furnished with bunk beds. The Bunk Shaker usually targets only those sleeping on the top bunk, but never the occupant of the bottom bunk. The Bunk Shaker waits until nighttime after lights out has been declared and all the students have gone to bed, at some point between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m., although an exact time isn't always referenced. The entity, while lurking under one of the bunks in the room, will begin shaking the bunk belonging to its chosen victim. The shaking is not violent, but nor is it gentle. It is often described as rhythmic, and sometimes adhering to a pattern of 3 shakes followed by a pause, and then it repeats. The Bunk Shaker's goal is to wake its target, then convincing them to get out of bed in order to investigate the shaking of the bunk. Once the target is out of bed, possibly as soon as their feet hit the ground, the Bunk Shaker will extend its arm out from beneath the bunk, pierce the target's ankles with their long nails, thus hooking and dragging their target under the bed. It is unknown precisely what happens to the victim. All that is known is that once the victim has been ensnared, they are never seen again. The bunk shaker cannot be contained, but targets sleeping in the top bunk may avoid falling prey by simply not getting out of bed at night for any reason, especially if the bed is shaking. The only advice they have for you is stay where you are, go back to sleep if you can, and if you can't, then pretend you can. So anyway, that is it. That is all I have on the bunk shaker. One thing that I did want to add is that they did say that they feel that the legend might have come from like teachers and like deans at the schools who kind of made up the legend of the bunk shaker to keep the kids like in bed after lights out so they wouldn't go like wandering around after bedtime. But other than that, they don't actually know where the bunk shaker originated. It's really like a mysterious entity that they don't know much about. They just know that it always lurks in dorms and usually in schoolhouses, although it's not always in schools. They did say that it can be any place that like has bunk beds that has like dormitories. So yeah, but it's a creepy entity. I definitely wouldn't want to encounter it. This is another reason why the bunk bed by the bottom bunk is way cooler than the top bunk. I was always like a bottom, but I always preferred the bottom bunk over the top bunk. I never really was like in like situations where we slept in bunk beds much, but like I don't know. I always prefer the bottom bunk, and now I know why. So anyway, my celestial cupcakes, that is it for this video. So if you liked this video, please feel free to give it a like. If you really like this video, please feel free to subscribe. If you want to do neither one of those things, oh well. I still thank you so much for stopping by and spending this minute with me. I really appreciate it. I will still send you tons of happy thoughts and positive vibes your way just for stopping by. So thank you. As always, I will have everything that I'm wearing on my face, as well as my Twitter and Instagram handles listed below in case you'd like to follow me there. I post pictures of looks that I do not film, as well as pictures of my pets because I think they are adorable, but of course we are all biased when it comes to our fur babies. But oh well. So anyway, from one makeup lover to another, hope you guys have a fantastic day, and remember, always say gay. Be you, do you, love you. Bye!